Do you think that a native English speaker ever struggles with English pronunciation and isn't sure how to pronounce a word in English? Well, we definitely do struggle with English pronunciation because spelling and pronunciation are very different in English. And in this video, I invite a fellow English teacher, Andy Cook. Andy runs the very popular Instagram channel, English with Cook. And I invite Andy onto this channel and we quiz each other on how to pronounce common cities in Canada and the UK where Andy's from. And spoiler alert, I do a really bad job. So I hope you enjoy this video. Welcome back to JForrest English. I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started with the interview with Andy Cook. And welcome, Andy. It is so wonderful to have you here. So why don't you tell everyone a little about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Jennifer, thanks very much for having me on. My name's Andy. I'm from England, the south of England. I'm an English teacher and online blogger.
How about we have a little fun and let's test each other. Let's test each other on some cities, towns, and see if we know first how to pronounce them and if we know where they are or if we know anything about them. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, so why don't you start and you can test me and see if I know anything about these cities and towns in the UK.
All right. Can you see that okay?
I can, and look, you're prepared. Awesome.
All right. Okay. So let's go. Town number 1.
Okay. So how is this said? Worcestershire. No? No? Worcestershire. Are you like the sauce, the Worcestershire sauce? Is it like that?
Yeah. But it's not how
That's
we
not
say
how
it,
you
though.
say it? What do you
No.
say?
All right. You ready? I'll
Yeah.
show you. So we say Worcestershire.
Oh, Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Worcestershire. So the sauce you call Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
It's extremely
Worcestershire.
difficult to say.
I swear in North America we call it Worcestershire or something like that because this is a sauce I'm very familiar with. I don't know about my students watching. Do you know the sauce in the bottom left-hand corner, the little sauce? Worcestershire. But no, it's
Worcestershire.
say it again.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. So
Yeah.
this was invented in this town, obviously.
Yeah. So I think you probably know about the sauce. It's got anchovies, vinegar, and some other things in
Yeah,
basically.
I do know about the sauce. I think you put it in like hamburger meat, right?
We would just usually have it on like cheese on toast.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Okay. I think we use it to put a little bit in like a hamburger before you turn it into a patty. Other than that, I'm not sure how we use this sauce, but I don't think it's one of those sauces everyone has in their fridge, but I'm really not sure what you do with it, to be honest.
Yeah, so you can use it in the cooking process as well. I've heard about that actually. So
Mm-hmm.
using it in the meal. So yeah, it's famous for Worcestershire sauce, and to be honest, it's really difficult for me to say. Um, so yeah, it's not easy for like I guess anybody studying English, like a foreigner who's like non-native
For
British
sure.
English speaker. And also, it's notable. So I just picked a famous person, Sir Rowland Hill. He invented the postal stamp. So
Oh, okay. I never would have known that.
no, I didn't know it to be honest
From
until
Worcestershire. Was I
Worc-
close?
Worcestershire.
Oh, yeah. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm still going to call it Worcestershire. That's
Yeah.
what I've been saying my whole life.
Amazing. Okay, cool. Let's go down. Next one.
All right.
All right, how do you say this?
Beaulieu.
Try again.
Beaulieu. No? Beaulieu.
I really think we can turn this into a meme of you reading these names. It's so good.
Well, you got Bo, Lee, and then like ooh,
Well,
Beaulieu.
actually, we say it Bewley.
Oh,
Bewley.
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 Bewley. Well, that's a lot of unnecessary vowels, isn't it? In the spelling.
I
And this is
apologize.
I hope my students are laughing about this, but also making you feel better to understand that native speakers don't instantly know how to pronounce something because spelling and pronunciation are very different in English. So it's not something I automatically know if I see an unfamiliar word. I need to learn the pronunciation from a native speaker like Andy to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Okay, so it looks like what was it? Boily? Bowley? Bowley.
Bewley.
Bew,
Bewley.
Bew. Okay, Bewley. It looks like
So,
Bewley is like a rich place with all these fancy cars.
so yeah, it's a very small town,
Oh
not
my
far from
God,
where I.
800 people.
Yeah, that's why there's no notable people from it.
Okay.
So low chances of getting
No
someone
one.
famous from there. Yeah, but it does have the British National Motor Museum, which is, I guess anybody who's into cars in the UK would know about it, and
Okay.
they've been there. So yeah.
It looks like a very scenic place, maybe somewhere you would go to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city, perhaps.
Yeah, you can go there to relax for sure. For
Hmm.
sure. Okay, cool. Do you remember how to say
Okay.
it?
0 for 2, Boily. No,
Bewley.
Bewley. Bewley.
I'm not looking forward to when I've got to say Canadian places now. Okay, let's go down. Next one.
Kylie?
Kylie. No,
Kaylee?
no, but they're both English names. Do you have those names in Canada?
Yeah, Kylie is a very Kylie and Kaylee. Yeah, they're very common names. The spelling is not like this, but they are common names.
So it's not Kylie, it's actually Keithley.
Why? Why is there a TH in there? Keith? Keithley. Okay, what's going on with this L'Oreal because I'm worth it?
So you know who this guy is?
Chewbacca?
Yeah, so the original Chewbacca in the original films was played by Peter Mayhew, and he lived in Keithley.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, and it's known for its textile industry. I've been there once. It's like a classic Northern Yorkshire town, like Northern
Hmm.
English town. So yeah, how do we say
Nice.
it?
Keithley. Well, that one's easy. I see the TH there, but how would I imagine that there's a silent TH in this word? Like, I just would not know unless a native speaker tells me. And again, students, this is why it's so important to use an audio dictionary or better yet, a native speaker to learn pronunciation.
Okay, cool. So I think we can say that you remember that one. So I think that's 1 out of 3. Do you think?
Woohoo! But I got
Yeah.
it wrong originally.
I think yeah, but anybody would.
Yes, okay.
Anybody would.
That's
Anybody
true.
would. Okay, let's go down. All right. If you played
Marley Bone.
not not far actually. Not far, yeah. So it's Marylebone. Marylebone.
Marlebone. Bin?
Well,
Bin.
I would say bone, but some
Bone.
people say bun. Bun. Marylebone.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Marlebone. Bin. Okay.
it's an area of London in central London. Famous because Sherlock Holmes lived there. Obviously, he's not a real
Ah.
person, but
Yeah, but
and
still.
the museum's there as well. The Sherlock Holmes Museum's there, and famous for the first human heart transplant.
Oh, wow. Okay. Marley Bone. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there. I used to live in London, but it's I think it's on Monopoly. You played the
Oh,
British Monopoly?
I have not played the British Monopoly. Good thing, because clearly I don't know how to say any of the names.
Okay. Have you played any Monopoly?
Yes, of course. But the ones we have are I guess North American names.
Is I don't know why I thought Monopoly would be all the same all over the world.
I'm trying to think
But
of one place on Monopoly to share as a reference. And I played Monopoly like 6 months ago, and I can't think of one of the towns or like one of the squares. Boardwalk, I think that was one, or is that anyway? I can't remember, but they're American based names. They're not. So you must have like a British Monopoly, and I have an American Monopoly. Interesting. I never thought about that. So there must be an Australian Monopoly, perhaps as well.
yeah, and obviously I've seen like Game of Thrones Monopoly. And things like
Yeah,
that.
or yeah, I've seen those ones, those other ones too.
Okay. Yeah, let's go down. Okay. What about this one?
Lao Burrow.
Wow, okay. You're not far off actually.
Oh.
I think there's some famous joke about like when a man was asked for directions by like like an Australian, they called it Luga Baruga.
Luga Baruga. Luga Baruga. That's awesome. Okay, what is it?
It's actually Loughborough.
Oh, Loughborough. Bro.
Here it's 3 syllables, but I would probably say 2. I'd probably say Loughborough.
Loughborough.
Loughborough. Yeah.
Loughborough. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know to do like, I guess the GH, like laugh is a F for the GH. But yeah, I wouldn't instantly think to do a F sound on that. Loughborough. Okay.
And it's the university is very famous. So in our country.
Okay.
And just lots of like so what do we call that? Alumni? People who went there?
Yeah, an alumni.
Alumni. It's a lot of famous sports people in the UK.
Oh, is it a prestigious university then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, Luga Baruga University.
Yeah,
Never.
Luga Baruga. Loughborough. I like Luga Baruga a lot better than Loughborough. I guess I didn't terrible. I didn't know one of them. I was kind of close in a couple, but I didn't intuitively know any. So all my students, I hope that makes you feel a lot better. But now it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna stop
So let me share my screen here. All right, Andy, do you think you'll be able to say these Canadian cities? Let's find out how well you do. Okay, this one.
Sault Ste. Marie.
One more time.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, very close, very close. Obviously, the Marie part you got, but it's a little different because this spelling is just pronounced as Sault Ste. Marie. And most likely, I don't know the population, but this is a pretty small city, but it's a city in both the US and Canada. So in the US, it's in Michigan. And then in Canada is in Ontario. So I have the little map here on the right. And then it's like a kind of like a port city. So they have a lot of shipping, and then it connects the Great Lakes. If you know your geography of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, the Great Lakes of North America, something all North Americans have to learn in school at least.
Interesting that it's across the borders.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, to be honest, I've never been to Sault Ste. Marie, so I can't tell you too much about it, but I know that a lot of people on the Ontario side and the Michigan side, they frequently cross over. And it would be very common to even maybe go for lunch on the other side. But because you are crossing a border, you would need to bring your passport and go through immigration as well.
Just for lunch?
Just for lunch, for sure, because you're going into the US. But Canada and US, we have very, very good relationship with border crossings. So we have expedited crossings, and it's they'll just like quickly look at your passport and you can go. It's not something that they would require a lot of documentation or a lot of explanation for why you're there. How about this one?
That's way more difficult than any of the ones I put, I reckon. Saskatchewan?
You nailed it.
Yeah, Saskatchewan.
Yes. Say it again.
Saskatchewan.
Yes, that is exactly it. How did you know that? Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Wow. Very good, Andy. That is amazing. Because you even put, I'll tell my students that a lot of the reason why pronunciation is incorrect is because your syllable stress is in the wrong place. So if you say Saskatchewan or something like that, Saskatchewan, it would sound really weird because it's Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. Exactly like you said. I don't know how you knew that.
I didn't cheat. Yeah, before this video, I was just researching all Canadian places.
I think you were. Have you heard of Saskatchewan?
No. What's it famous for? Anything?
This is the image I wanted to show you. It's famous for crops and agriculture. Now, this image, the yellow, I believe that's canola. Canola is yellow, I believe, but it's more famous for wheat in Saskatchewan, but obviously canola, barley, not obviously, but those are the other crops that it's known for. And Saskatchewan is also known for being extremely flat, which is why I kind of show this picture of this kid riding their bike and it looks flat. So there's this joke that if your dog runs away in Saskatchewan, don't worry, because you'll be able to see it for days because it's just so flat. So you can just see anything.
Okay. So that's like the Netherlands, I guess. That's really flat, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't know the Netherlands was known as being flat as well.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's just a European thing. But yeah, it's extremely flat in the Netherlands.
So no mountain biking or snowboarding or skiing in Saskatchewan or the Netherlands, I guess.
And no dogs as well. Oh, actually, no. It's a good thing to have a dog because if it does run away, you can see it, can't you?
Exactly. So this is central Canada, as you can see on the map here. But this is also one of the coldest parts of Canada. So guess how cold it would regularly get in winter in Saskatchewan. Just random guess.
Like regularly?
Yeah, regularly. Like an average January or February day.
-10?
-25.
Okay.
About -25. And then with the wind, if it was windy, it would probably be -30-ish. So this is, if you're moving to Canada, I don't know if I would recommend Saskatchewan because it is very cold.
Okay, yeah.
All right, but congratulations on your pronunciation. I'm jealous that you did a lot better than I did with any of those British names.
I'm ready for the next one. Let's do this. I'm on a roll.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, honestly, I have no idea because I want to say the last syllable is like Q, but Ganananog?
Thank you. If you got this one correct, I would have been mad. Okay, try it again.
Is it not Ganananog?
It is not Ganananog.
Ganana.
You're Ganana? kind of sounds like
Gananog.
banana. It reminds me of banana. Okay, but don't feel bad, because when I went to this place for the first time, I also pronounced it in a very funny way, and I had no idea what it is. The correct pronunciation is Gana Nakwe. This is pronounced Kwe.
Way.
Kwe at the end, and then Gananakwe.
Gananakwe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gananakwe. Gananakwe is a beautiful, breathtakingly beautiful place. It's in Ontario where I live. It's about maybe a 2-hour drive, and it's in this area called the Thousand Islands. So there are all these tiny, tiny little islands, but some of them are too small to even put a small shed on. They're just tiny. But some of them have one island will have one cottage or one house, and there's no other room on this island. And then you have to take a boat from the mainland, which is Gananakwe, to your island where you might have your summer cottage. And there's the image here. This is of a castle in the Thousand Islands, but this castle is actually on the in the United States, so it's on the American side, but we share the Thousand Islands with the US as well. So this is another shared area. Half of the water is Canada, and then the other half is the US. So if you're on a boat cruise and you want to go on one of these islands, some of them have customs because you're entering a different country. And again, you have to show your passport.
Wow. I think I'm probably going to live on that island if I ever live in Canada.
Yes, it is very beautiful here. And the weather is not too cold for Canadian winters. Maybe this would go down to your -10, -15 in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So more mild compared to Saskatchewan. How do you pronounce this one?
Gananakwe.
You got it. Good job. Good job. I do recommend, as a tourist, if you're in Ontario, to go to the Thousand Islands region, which includes Gananakwe.
Okay.
All right. Our next one. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Nice and easy, right?
Oshawa?
Oh, yes, you did it. Maybe this one was a little too easy, but I thought for syllable stress, you might put it on the end or something, and say like Oshawa or Oshawa or like something like that. But you got it. Oshawa.
Okay.
Oshawa. Not too bad, right?
Yeah. It's quite an easy one. What's it like there?
I've never been. I think it's pretty boring, to be honest. Sorry, anyone from Oshawa. It's a small town. Maybe it's a little scenic because it's right on the water as well. And on this map, if you look, so Oshawa's in this red square. And if you look down, you have Niagara Falls. Are you familiar with Niagara Falls?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Niagara Falls is very beautiful. So perhaps it would be like an easy boat ride to get down to Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is something else we share with the US. So part of Niagara Falls is in Canada, and the other part of Niagara Falls is in New York State. I believe it's New York State in the US. Okay, I think this is the last one. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, give it to me. Okay, I'm going to go Nanaimo.
Okay, I knew you were going to say something like that. No, thankfully.
Nanaimo?
It is not Nanaimo.
But what about the stress on the middle? Nanaimo.
Oh, getting better, maybe. It's Nanaimo. So you were close with the stress, but for some reason we pronounce it as nigh. And then the beginning is like unstressed, so it's like a Nanaimo.
Nanaimo.
Nanaimo. Do
Okay.
you recognize the dessert in the top left?
Is it millionaires?
Well, we call them Nanaimo bars because they were created, I guess, in Nanaimo. Honestly, until I put this presentation together, it didn't really click that Nanaimo bars probably come from Nanaimo. But I've been eating Nanaimo bars since I was a little kid. They're a pretty popular dessert. So I guess they maybe have a different name. What'd you call them?
Well, I didn't know if it was millionaire shortbread, but maybe it's not.
Okay.
You know millionaire shortbread?
I don't know millionaire shortbread, but I know shortbread, and that sounds delicious. I guess it's shortbread with chocolate, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
No,
chocolate and something else. Yeah. What
I've
is in that
never
then?
heard of millionaire shortbread.
Okay. What's
Yeah.
in Nanaimo bar?
They're very sweet. I haven't had one in a long time because they're actually too sweet for me, but they're extremely sweet. So whatever the sweetest ingredients you can imagine, they are in a Nanaimo bar. So if you like sweet, you will like these. But the base is like it tastes very much like chocolate. I'm not sure what this cream filling is in the middle, but the entire thing is quite sweet and very soft as well. You usually put them in the fridge before you serve them, and so they get hard. So I think the middle is some sort of custard that can get quite soft, perhaps. But to be honest, you'll have to Google it. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But Nanaimo.
Nanaimo.
Yeah. And what about British Columbia? Is that a place you're familiar with?
Yeah, is it a county or how would you call it?
Yeah, we call them provinces.
Okay.
So in the US, they call them states. And then in Canada, we call them provinces.
Okay.
And then what would you call it in England?
County.
A county.
Yeah, county.
Okay. When I think county, I think somewhere very small, like even smaller than a town almost.
Oh, no. So the county is the area with many towns in it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So yeah, I think it's like state or province.
Yeah. So Nanaimo is actually on Vancouver Island, which has Victoria. If that's the most recognizable name on the island is Victoria. Now, it's still very cold compared to other places. This isn't a tropical island, of course, because we're in Canada, but people actually do go surfing on this island, but you would have to wear a wetsuit because the water would still be very cold.
Okay.
And you can go whale watching here, and there's lots of wildlife on the island as well. So it's a very beautiful place, perhaps similar to where you live in the sense that a lot of people will retire here because it's one of the warmest parts of Canada. And in winter, maybe it will be +5 in winter, which would, for Canada, that is quite warm. The fact that it doesn't go into the negatives.
That is, yeah. Do they get snow?
Sorry?
Do they get a lot of snow there at all?
I don't think so. Not on the island. So in British Columbia, they have the Rocky Mountains, Whistler. There's a lot of big ski areas. So of course you can see it on the map here, all the mountains with the snow. But on the island, I think it would be a rare occurrence to get snow, and it would probably instantly melt. I don't think it would stay if they did get snow. Well, Andy, that was fun. Clearly, I feel like you did a better job than me. You got a lot of them right. I feel like I need to really improve my UK geography a little, but thanks so much for coming on and sharing that. I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure my students had a little fun watching their English teacher do such a bad job with pronunciation.
Yeah, it was excellent. Thanks very much. I really appreciate you having me on.
And why don't you tell my students where they can follow you and learn English with you as well?
Yeah, so on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's at English with Cook.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much again, Andy, for being here. And we also had prepared to talk a little bit about food differences in the UK and North America. So why don't we save that for our next conversation?
Sounds good, yeah.
All right, Andy, I will talk to you soon. Thanks again.
So did you enjoy this video? Did you enjoy seeing me do such a terrible job with the pronunciation? What about you? How did you do with the pronunciation? Because I'm sure you were guessing the pronunciation as well. So share that in the comments. And did you enjoy this video where I interviewed someone else and had a guest on the channel? Would you like me to do more collaborations with other English teachers or other YouTubers in the future? If you would, then put collaboration in the comments. Actually, put Andy in the comments. Put Andy in the comments so Andy feels a little love. And remember, you can follow him on Instagram, English with Cook. That's his Instagram handle. And of course, like this video, share it with your friends so they can have a good laugh as well. And subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And why don't you get started with your next lesson right now?